Hey folks, today we are taking a look at the Kabaya Series 6 gum toys. Now, by gum toys, I mean these guys each come with a stick of gum, otherwise known as candy toys in Japan. These guys are pretty small and pretty darn cheap. I picked each of these guys up, all three of them, at capturedprey.com. They were around $7 a pop, so they were not expensive in the least bit. What we have here are the Powered Masters. They are a subset of Transformers that are massive. Each one of these guys in robot form is the size of a combiner in the Transformers fiction. So these guys are huge. Unfortunately, these candy toys aren't nearly as big. So before we get into the candy toys, let's go ahead and go into a little bit of a history lesson. Transformers Zone was the very last G1-centric Transformers series to show up in Japan. And by show up in Japan, we kind of mean that it just was there. Originally appearing in February of 1990 and ending in January of 1991, it was only published in Japanese publication TV Magazine. And then in April, there was a manga in between those story pages. And then in June, a one-episode OVA was aired. Well, by aired, we mean it went direct to video. And we all know here in the States, direct to video means the Autobots create a brand new energy source called Energon Z. That's just a crinkle ball. Victory Saber from Transformers Victory takes the Energon Z and has the Microns, or Micromasters, completely reformat their own planet from Planet Micron into Planet Zone. And then they start going on this weird thing about making an Autobot federation called the Autobot Zone. The different Micromaster teams then go to different planets. The Race Patrol team goes to the Top Gear planet. The Jet Patrol team goes to the Danger Zone planet. You know, that sort of thing. The Decepticons, being the jealous little bastards that they are, decide, well, we want our own Decepticon Zone. So they form their own Decepticon Zone and never speak of it again. The leader of the Decepticon then resurrects 9 ancient Decepticon Generals. The 9 Decepticon Generals are Overlord, Abominus, Devastator, Trypticon, Black Zarak, King Poseidon, Predaking, Menasor, and this is the leader of the Decepticons. What's his name, by the way? His name is Violin Jagger. Then, shenanigans! Now that we've got all of the facts out of the way for Transformers Zone, here are the 3 figures from the Kabaya sets. Now, each set, or each box in the set, is an individual figure. However, there are a little bit of extras for Dai Atlus contained in Sonic Bomber and Roadfire's sets. These guys are pretty darn cool, and if you have the chance to ever play with or get the original figures, take it. If you've got the funds for it, take it. Each one of these guys, in their original boxed G1 sets, go for several $100s a piece. Specifically this guy, since he is so rare in box. Just one of the rarest Transformers ever, because he saw a limited release in G1. So we're going to start off with taking a look at Dai Atlus. Now, Dai Atlus has a little bit of an issue here where he's got a little bit too much stuff. So we'll take off the weapons. The first weapon we're going to take off is the Zone Cutter, which it's in the show. If you ever see the show, this is what slices Predaking in half. Looks more like a really bad, stupid boomerang. Then we'll remove this little turret and pegged piece. And then the guns that Dai Atlus comes with is this. This is the gun he comes with. So put that off to the side. And then move the tail fin to the correct location. Now, the figure itself in vehicle mode looks pretty cool. It's this weird tank-treaded space jet. It's a very strange alt mode. The G1 figure toy looks a lot better considering there are no hands, and the hands would actually ratchet up or slide up into the thrusters. It's a very interesting vehicle mode, I think. Oh, I forgot to detach these as well. See, these bits are ramps and then will also form a shield. So overall, I like the vehicle mode. It's a very weird vehicle mode, to be sure. Now, he does have a drill tank mode, which is pretty much just take off the wings, put the arms forward, and remove the tail fin. That's pretty much it. Because unfortunately, you can't see it here because there's no sticker, but the tip here is actually a drill. So it's okay. Transformation for the guy is very easy. Simply unpeg the body, fold down the legs, then unpeg the legs, from the bottom legs from the upper legs, and there are two pegs. When it's in vehicle mode, it's pegged up here, robot mode pegged down there. Peg them into the right spot. Fold up the feet. Reach in and kind of push this bit completely flat like that. And then rotate the whole nose cone section up and around. And then actually going to pull off the nose cone from behind the robot head. Fold everything down and into place. And getting things lined up is a little bit tricky, but what I like to do is put the nose cone coming off the back like this. Then the tail fin comes off the rear of the figure like that. The wings attach to the back of the arms like this. And that is pretty much it. There we have Dai Atlus. In robot mode, Dai Atlus is about the same size as a Basics class figure, same height that is. I'd say he's closer in proportion to a Cyberverse commander than a Basics class figure, but you get the general idea on size. Weapons-wise, he is pretty loaded, so we had the aforementioned gun that he comes with that he really has trouble holding. He keeps wanting to hold it off to the side. Then he's got these panels which are supposed to attach somehow to one of his other bits, and then it'll form a shield. However, so for the shield, what we're going to have to do is take this turret unit and turn it so that the red turret is pointing down. And this is a little weird. So the shield bits actually are supposed to fit and snuggle into this wedged out area on the turret. And it doesn't always work. So even doing it the way the directions say, it doesn't always work all that well. So yeah, that's not working. So let's turn it around. There we go. Like that. And then this is supposed to be the handheld, or the handle for the shield. Like that. Okay, so there's his shield, and here is his gun. Now you might be noticing he seems to be flopping around quite a bit. That's a major issue with this figure. Now, for under $10, it's an okay figure, but he has problems shooting. Okay, so let's pull that off to the side. So overall, robot mode-wise, he's pretty cool. I like his other modes better. Now, he does have a base mode, and we'll talk about the base mode once we've talked about all three of the robots, or all three of the figures. But as far as a robot mode is, he looks okay. He's pretty cool. The floppiness here in the chest is a major issue, and you're never really sure if you've got everything lined up. He kind of looks like a hunchback transformer. There's really nothing I could do about that. Also, the pegs on his legs are way too loose for my taste, but I'd rather them be a little bit too loose so you could get them on and off, as opposed to being too tight and you breaking the figure. Poseability, arms are swivel, head doesn't really move, legs have some movement, not a whole heck of a lot. They are on a single bar, so once you move one, the other will move. Overall, though, for 10 bucks, for under $10, not a bad figure at all. Little finicky, but not too bad. Next up, we have Sonic Bomber, and he is this really cool stealth jet. I guess you could call him a stealth jet, but he is an attack jet. It's a very cool look to the figure. Transformation, very simple. Unpeg the gun, take the legs, and kind of just grab them and pull them back a little bit from the main body, and then unfortunately you do have to disconnect them. But before you do that, fold the wings up the fuselage and disconnect the legs. And turn the legs so that the peg holes are pointing to the outside of the figure, and then peg the legs back in. Same thing as with Dai Atlus. To transform, they're pegged in here. For robot mode, they're pegged in below. Same thing there. Then just take the front of the jet, open it up, fold it out, flip the nose cone around to form the hands, and we are done. Now, he is a much more stable figure compared to Dai Atlus. He doesn't have nearly the same wiggliness that Dai Atlus has. That's just because the design and his base mode is significantly different than Dai Atlus's. So to give you an idea on the size difference of the characters, they're roughly the same size, even though in the original Powered Master figures from G1, Dai Atlus was bigger than Sonic Bomber. Overall, Sonic Bomber's not too bad. He does have limited poseability, though. That's just because of his transformation. So he's got a swivel joint here in the shoulder, no elbow joints. His head does move. Legs have an in and out and swivel, and his knees do bend, but other than that, forget it. Overall, though, it's a pretty good-looking figure, and the stickers went on super easy. The only issue I've had are these stickers down here on his feet. They do sometimes come off here on the edges, but not frequently. Overall, a very strong little toy. Last up is Roadfire, and he is just this cute little tank thing, though I have a feeling he does have more of a rocket tank ability. I have a feeling he can fly in space. Just something about this vehicle mode tells me that it's got liftoff capabilities. Who knows? It's a very cool little tank. I like it a lot. I wish it had more guns to it, but oh well. So, transformation is pull the entire front of the tank off and separate the turret from the front of the tank. Take the rear of the tank and just rotate it all the way around like that to form legs. Fix the sticker that you accidentally pulled up. Then take the front of the tank, and attach it to his back. And this is probably the most annoying part of the transformation because the rear part of the tank doesn't necessarily want to peg in. And that's because this blue plastic is very, very weak. This blue plastic, very weak. So what I have to do is open up the tank front and just kind of push it on and then close the tank back up. And that's it for the transformation. If you want to move the arms, good luck, because there's not much room to move the arms. Poseability he's got poseability, but it's not worth talking about because he's way too damn top heavy. But he has nice wide heels. So Roadfire is probably the most cohesive robot mode of them all, next to Sonic Bomber. Very, very cool, though I would much rather have the G1 figure. I still like this guy. I think his head sculpt's the best out of the three, though. Yep. Alright guys, now it's time to look at each one of these different base modes. Now each one of these figures has a base mode, and then all three of them merge together into something called Big Powered, which I talked about earlier. So, let's go ahead and get into the base modes. Now obviously the first one we're going to look at is Dai Atlus. To get there, first we're going to remove the wings, the tail fin, and the tail fin I should say, and then put him in kind of tank mode. So we'll start off with Dai Atlus in drill tank mode. Then we will fold him up and fold his legs all the way around like that. So we're working from this angle. Now, there is a blue piece that pegs in right here. What you do is you unpeg it and then slide it on this peg that's sticking out from behind its his legs. And this will give the base mode a much needed stability. So then what we're going to do is kind of twist it, tilt it, so that the nose cone is pointing up like that. Now, that's the way the directions say to do it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. See, the problem is what we have in the directions and what we have on the back of the box are actually different. So, you know what? I'm just going to fold it up like this. It's supposed to fold forward, and then you fold that forward. Screw it. I'm just going to leave it like this. This is the way it looks like it's supposed to be. Then we take, you remember the little ramp pieces that form the shield, and those will actually peg into the bottom of his feet. See, this is the one major issue I have when trying to get Dai Atlus into the different modes, is the stuff just falls apart. Literally. I mean, he literally falls to pieces. Alright, so those are pegged in. Then we take the wings and bring them up, and they get turned upside down. They get pegged in on the sides, like that. And then his main gun gets pegged in up here, like that. And then the little turret is supposed to be pegged in down here. However, you really can't, because the panels here push the pegs too far apart. Okay, I barely got it in there. All right, so there is the first base mode. Yes, that does look silly. Sonic Bomber's base mode is significantly easier. First, unpeg the gun and just put that off to the side. Then unpeg the legs, like this, and take the legs and just kind of fold these sections out. Then we need to unpeg the legs and put them on the ends, like we would if we were transforming him into robot mode. And then we bring them 90 degrees and turn them like this. So then we kind of get it just sitting like that. Then for the front, split the front open. All the way open like that. Take this thing in the back, this section of the back, and fold that over, and that forms a ramp. And then take the arms, rotate them 90 degrees, fold them up, just kind of flip out the wings like that. And there we go. That is his base mode. Now, for me, I like to just fiddle with it a little bit until I can get everything stable, because he's not very stable, oddly enough. And the last thing we do is put the gun, peg that into that peg hole like that. So that is his base mode. Little silly looking, I realize, but what are you going to do? Come on, get on there, gun. We'll leave it later. Last but not least, it's Roadfire's turn. So, first off, just kind of lift the front cannon up, open up the front of the tank, raise the back legs up, and that's it. That's all you do. That's it. Nothing else. Kind of lame, actually. So here we have the 3 base modes, and I have to admit fully that they're kind of stupid. I think I would enjoy them more if I had the G1 figures, but these little candy toys, or gum toys, really don't pull off the base modes all that well. Alright folks, we're coming up to the end Finally, we're going to take a look at their last combination, and that is called Big Powered. It's pretty much just a giant, freakish-looking jet thing. To start off with, we're going to take Sonic Bomber and do absolutely nothing to him. We're going to put him off to the side. Next, we're going to just move Roadfire off to the side and take Dai Atlus, pull his wings off, like that, and then just leave him alone. So take Dai Atlus, and there is a convenient hole sticking out of the back of Sonic Bomber. So we will plug the nose cone in there, and then these little tabs that are hanging off Sonic Bomber's legs will peg into the front feet of Dai Atlus. So just getting that lined up and pegged into place. So there we go. That is done. Next, we're going to take Roadfire here, pull the front of the tank off, put that off to the side, take the legs and kind of stick them, turn it, and then have them sticking straight up. Oh. Ah! Falling pieces! Falling transformers falling down. Ah, dang, now it. Come on, get plugged back in there. So taking this rear part, fold the legs at the knees, just fold them straight up. Once you've got the legs up like that, you're going to turn the figure around and attach the top of the tank to the bottom of his feet. Now this is a little bit fiddly. Sometimes it goes right in like that, and sometimes you gotta work it in. And then we're going to peg this into the back of Dai Atlus. So there we have the three pegged in and combined. Just gotta check Roadfire because the way there are tabs on the side of Roadfire's shoulders that slide into grooves on Dai Atlus's hips. So you kind of have to be careful because the lining, getting them lined up is a little bit tricky. So the last bit is to just outfit him with all his weapons and gadgets and gizmos. So we're going to go ahead and attach the bottom of the shield bits as sleds. Come on. Just attach the bottoms like this. And I have it backwards, don't I? Yes, I do. And then these will peg in two places. They will plug into the bottom right there at the bottom of the tread and at this peg right here. So that will additionally hold the figures together as well. A little bit annoying, a little fiddly. Just be patient. Next, we get to arm him up. So, little red gun goes up front. Black gun goes up the back. But then there's no room for the turret. So what you do, or what I do, is I move the gun there, put the turret back up here, and there we go. Here we have big powered. Now you're supposed to take the little... You're actually supposed to do this a different way. So just move these guys up around each other. And then this cannon is supposed to go like right here. But that doesn't always work. Oh well, it's fine the way it is. And then this little guy, because, you know, he needs a tail wing. So there is actually big powered in all his glory. He's going to shoot all the things. Pretty cool. I would much rather have the G1 version, but, you know, for a grand total of, I think, like $32 shipped, I'm pretty darn happy with this set. Is it perfect? No. It has some issues. The fiddliness of some of these figures is just plain annoying, but as something that goes on the shelf and is just a conversation starter and just getting a hold of something that has almost the exact same transformation as their G1 counterparts, these Kabaya Series 6 figures are awesome. So I picked these up at CapturedPrey.com. They were like $6.50 or $6.60 a piece. I highly recommend going there and picking them up. They're still in stock as of the recording of this video, so go over there and pick them up. They're cheap, they're fun, just be wary that they're a little bit over fiddly.